Okay, this is a lean-to. It's going to be a lean-to on this existing workshop, pole barn style construction. So I have not drawn the metal siding or the metal roofing. This is just the necessary parts to show what I'm adding on here. So the existing barn, as shown, measures 36 wide by 48 long. And then we have 14 feet to the ceiling. And then over here, I've just drawn this as an opening, but what this is those glass, it's not glass, but it's the translucent like wall panels so the light can go through. Anyway, it measures 11 foot 7, which is 139 inches. So now we're trying to see if a 412 roof is going to work with a possibility for a 7'6" opening. So let's go ahead and turn on the framing. There's the rafters. Now, if I'm all the way up as high as I can go, and those rafters are on a 412, and I turn on the wall framing, that right there is how it would get framed in the future if the slab is extended out here at the same elevation. And then with the framing here, that there is 7'6". Now, I guess, I don't really want to try to squeeze more inches out of that and eliminate more framing, eliminate any framing. I don't want to do that because then I just feel like it's going to be weaker there. So that right there, as drawn on the framing, is basically as high as I feel comfortable going up. Okay, so there's this 7'6". Again, we'll show that. 7'6" right there. Okay, so hopefully the garage door installers on this side, hopefully they're able to do something with their track where they're okay with like 3 to 4.5 inches, which would be to the bottom of the rafters, okay, type thing. 5 inches, whatever that comes out to be, okay. So then these rafters are 2x8s. I'm going on the record as saying I'm not comfortable with 2x6 rafters on this span. I just think it's going to be too spongy. And so I'm thinking a 2x8 is better. So, of course, it's not my project. I'll do it however the owner wants. If he wants 2x6s there, that's fine. But I'm just going on the record by saying I think a 2x8 is better. So once the roof gets sheeted, it's going to look like this with just the OSB. And then with the flashing, there's going to be a piece of flashing here. And that flashing is going to take up, I think that's 4 inches right there. So that's going to be taking up like 4 inches of daylight right there. But I think that's the best way to do the flashing because that way those translucent panels just get applied right back as they were and they lap over that flashing. And of course, the flashing is even going to be a little bit higher than that because of the ribs on the metal roofing. So if that's acceptable, then this 412 would work, but it is going to be eating a few inches out of that daylight. So just keep that in mind. Now, this was drawn as posts, but I remember from the conversation that this was going to be framed in at a later date. So my view is why not just frame it in right now with a pony wall? Because framing in with a pony wall gives us the opportunity to anchor without having special L-shaped anchors bent up or any other anchoring method. We just either do wedge anchors here, maybe every 2 stud bays, or epoxy threads in. And I chose to bring the wall out flush with the outside of the retaining wall. The retaining wall is plenty thick. It's 12 inches thick, but I think the best place to put it is the outside, because if I'm moving it towards the center or moving it to the inside edge, then what's going to happen, any rain or snow that hits that is going to want to creep into the lean-to area. So I think if we put the wall flush with the outside, then the water's just going to, of course, by the time the metal siding or whatever goes on here, then it's going to overlap, and then the water's not going to get in right there. So that's why I drew that like that. And then on the back wall, it's just framed in, for possibly in the future, it's just framed in just like the front wall, but it doesn't have an opening. So that's how I think that'll work. If that's acceptable, then we can proceed with the 412 roof. If it's not acceptable up there by cutting down into the daylight, then I think we need to change this to a 312, drop the flashing down, drop the roof down, put them on a 312 pitch, and see if that works. So the other side is going to look like this. It's going to be symmetrical, and it's going to match. Let's see if I can get let's get the camera view on for the front. So there's the front view. Now let me do my camera on the ortho. See if I remember how to do the ortho. Oh, the parallel, there we go, the parallel projection. So I like the way that the 412 looks there. It matches there, 412, it matches. But again, the determining factor, the limiting factor is going to be whether or not it's acceptable to encroach several inches on the daylight that is now entering the barn from the daylight panels above. So these posts over here are just spaced out evenly. And how I'm planning the connection, I was just going to do just like a 2x8, double 2x8 beam across there. And these right here, the posts, we're just going to go, you can't really, okay, this is a better example, because what I need to do is I need to finish cutting this out, and let's just cut this out right now so that that's more accurate. All right, so that's how that would be on every single one of them. I want the posts to go all the way up because that gives the opportunity for anchoring, like with lag screws or whatever. And then these would have some kind of either a screw up in from the bottom or like a hurricane tie. And then how this is all anchored into the building is with this 2x8 ledger, and then that would be lagged into wherever the posts are on a building, like every 10 foot, that would be lagged in right there. And then the same thing over here, just I'll find the posts, lag in, lag in, lag in. I don't think the hangers are necessary up here. I think with just 3 toenails on each side, that would be fine. But that's really something that can be decided later. And then over here, I was planning on sheeting this wall just like a house wall. Planning on sheeting the wall with OSB and then putting like an uplift hanger on the outside here. So this shows the 1 foot eave, 1 foot overhang eave. And this right here shows the existing barn has the 1 foot overhang. And then the lean-to has the 2 foot overhang. So this upper roof doesn't have to get rain gutters at all, just drain down to the lower roof. And then this roof right here is where the rain gutters are going to be. And the owner has already done the rainwater collection system for the downspouts along this retaining wall. So I'm just waiting for some feedback to see if these are acceptable clearances. And if not, then we'll redesign. So keep watching my channel. And I'll keep you updated on whether or not this is a 412 roof or a 312 roof. Thank you for watching.